Hi guys, I'm Kosi Kawakami, the director of Rising Sun Syndicate. Today, I would like to explain why we import Japanese horses, especially 3 years old maiden horses, despite such an expensive transport cost. As you would know, the prize money in Australia racing is so rich. Although not as high as in Japan or in Hong Kong or in the Middle East, the prize money in Australia is a lot higher than it is in US or Europe. We have more than 50 races that carries over $1 million of prize money. And there are so many mega rich races, as you can see on the list on the screen. Of course, we would like to see the prize money in the country races to be lifted higher, but the total prize money in Australian racing is increasing almost every year. We could say we have a bright future in Australian racing. Although we have so many rich races in middle to long distance races in Australia, we have massive stakes in the 2 years old Group 1s and restricted races for the English and Magic Million graduates. Therefore, Australian breeding is heavily weighted towards the 2 years old sprinting types. You see, the majority of runners in the races like Caulfield Cup or Melbourne Cup are internationally bred horses, mainly from Europe. However, we actually think Japanese bred horses can be superior and more suitable to Australian racing, as they are the brilliant hybrid of speed and stamina. I'm sure you'd remember the brilliant performance by Meld Glaze and Rhys Gresham back in 2019. They won Caulfield Cup and Cox Plate respectively in remarkable fashion. The quality of Japanese bred horses are one of the best in the world now. We are trying to provide every owner in Australia an opportunity to own a Japanese bred thoroughbred at an affordable price. Paying big money to buy a horses with good form is one thing, but because Japanese racing's prize money is even higher than in Australia, you have to pay a massive amount of money to buy a horses with good group form. That is why we are currently focusing on 3 to 4 years old who have not yet to reach their prime. As I said, Japanese horses got very strong powerful form in the middle to long distance races. I will give you some examples of the horses who have shown a massive improvement since they have moved to the Australia. Maiden class, horses like Carry or Stellar Impact. The Carry had 4 starts in Japan and no placings. Stellar Impact had 6 starts, 2 placings. When they came to Australia, they went through their grade very quickly and won benchmark 70 races and being competitive in the metro grade. Class 1 form, Asian Rook and Danone Roman. Asian Rook had 9 starts, 1 win, 5 placings in Japan. Danone Roman had 5 starts, 1 win, no placings in Japan. They came over to Australia. They are competitive in the metro or actually listed grade. Asian Rook won the listed race. Danone Roman won a couple of country cups. They won a lot of prize money in Australia already. Just to explain how good Japanese horses are, I'm going to explain about these group grade horses as well. Brave Smash. In Japan, he had 13 starts, 2 wins, one A group race, but not quite good enough in Group 2 or Group 1. Thorsten Stardom, again 14 starts, 5 wins, won 2 Group 3s, but not quite reached that Group 1 level. They came to Australia, they won 2 Group 1 races of each and earned more than $2 million in the prize money, and they are now standing in Australia as popular stallions. We are not saying that every Japanese horses can improve their form like this, but if we carefully select the right horses who suits Australian racing, We actually think we can do even better than the horses I have just mentioned. I'm sure you all understand how Japanese bred horses can do so well in Australia. And not long ago, there are many Japanese bred horses were sold to Australia at the big prices. However, there are some horses that could not adapt to Australian racing and could not get the results as they were hoped to. It is not easy for Australian buyers to purchase Japanese bred horses, as it is very hard to get the right information unless you read and speak Japanese. You can probably see their forms, but it is not that simple just to transfer the Japanese form into the Australian one. That's where we come in. We are true experts of both Australia and Japanese racing. Not only we have been working in Australia as jockeys, assistant trainers, and track riders, we have been working with a Japanese team who came over to Australia to race their horses. And we actually have ridden so many Japanese horses in both Australia and Japan. We have the experience and knowledge from the many successes and some disappointments. That gives us the idea of selecting the right horses to bring over to Australia. We also have a solid connection to Japanese racing industry and know all the right people to find out hands-on information about horses we purchase. That makes us unique and gives a solid reason for you to purchase a share of the range of Japanese bred horses we have selected. So if you have any questions regarding our horses, our systems, or our trainers, please feel free to contact us. We are happy to discuss that with you.